Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Taylor with Boydston Grove, and today we're gonna take a really popular woodworking project, plus a product that has nothing to do with woodworking, and combine them to make something awesome. Let's get into it. I'm gonna take just a minute to explain to you what's going on here, so if you don't wanna listen to me talk, you can just hit the little doobly-doo down there to skip ahead to the project. This simple woodworking project has been really popular lately, and I gotta be honest, I'm not exactly sure why. I mean, are you seeing what I'm seeing? It's basically an empty frame with a shelf. I mean, come on, guys. So while I was trying to come up with a way to make this project actually cool, a company named LETBRICKS reached out to me and wanted to collaborate. LETBRICKS is a company that makes brick models a lot like Lego, so when they first reached out to me, I thought, my people, you're my people by the way, don't show up at this channel to watch me play with toys. But as I looked further into this company and their business model, I actually got pretty excited to work with them. To break it down simply, LETBRICKS' primary goal is to work with a whole bunch of designers and brick enthusiasts, or mocks as I've learned that they're called, to come up with custom brick model kits of anything you can dream up for affordable prices. So today's goal is to build a really cool display for a model kit that LETBRICKS has sent me. Starting with the frame, I took some pieces of 2x4 and used the table saw to remove the rounded corners from one side and then rip the pieces down to 2-inch wide strips. Since I don't have a planer, I use the table saw to skim the surface of the other two sides of each 2x4 to smooth them out and to remove all the print and writing. Then I cut a rabbet 3/4 of an inch by 1/2 inch along the length of each board. The size of the rabbet really depends on the thickness of the material that you want to put in your frame. Lastly, I set my blade to 10 degrees and cut a taper on what will be the front inside edge of each frame piece. Then it was over to the miter saw to miter the corners of each piece. I went with 12 by 16 for the inside measurement of my frame. I used a strap clamp and some glue to assemble the frame, and our first step is done in less than 30 minutes. These strap clamps are super handy for frames. I'll leave a link to the ones that I use in the description below. I want to take just a minute to talk about today's sponsor, LETBRICKS. Now let me just be perfectly honest. I've never been one of these brick enthusiasts. In fact, this is the first kit like this that I've ever built as an adult. But I have to say, it was actually a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it and found it really relaxing. But more than that, I really appreciate the business model that LETBRICKS has, which is working with a bunch of designers and a bunch of actual brick enthusiasts to come up with all kinds of kits for anything that you want to build. Their kits range anywhere from military vehicles and landmarks such as the one that I have, to scenes and buildings from all kinds of movies and TV shows. These kits come in every shape and size, and personally I think they're pretty reasonably priced. Now one of my favorite parts about this kit is in the beginning of the instructions there are a few pages that actually give facts and some history about the landmark along with some photos, and I just think that was a really cool addition. Like I said, I've never built these kits before, but I did find it a lot of fun. If you're really into these model kits or you want to try one for the first time, just hit the link below to check out all the model kits they have to offer. Now, back to our project. With the frame dry, I nailed all the corners, puttied the holes, and sanded it down. You can use whatever you want for the shelf. I went with a scrap piece of butcher block that I had laying around the shop. I cut it a little longer than the width of my frame, nipped off the two corners, and put a large chamfer on the bottom edge. I marked the locations where the shelf and the frame meet on both the shelf and the frame, and then I used the table saw to cut dados in the frame, sneaking up on my line so the shelf would fit nice and snug. Then I did the same thing to the shelf. Now I know what you're thinking, why did I cut those nice tight dados in the shelf when I was just going to cut out the whole area between them? The reason is because I wanted the back of the shelf to sit flush with the inside of the frame, and I actually didn't think of this till after I cut the dados, so there you go. When I had the shelf fitting how I wanted, I stained the frame. While I was waiting for that to dry, I cut a piece of 1/8 inch acrylic for the front of the frame and a piece of 1/8 inch plywood for the back panel of the frame. Acrylic cuts pretty easy on the table saw as long as you don't push too hard. I have these 1/2 inch square dowels and I cut and glued them around the edges of the plywood to create a little pocket for the lights. Yes, there will be lights. When it was dry, I cut a hole for the battery pack. Then I applied some reflective tape to the inside of the panel to help reflect and distribute the light. I installed the self-adhesive LEDs and gave them a quick test. Moving on to the acrylic front, I applied some label paper to one side to help diffuse the light, and then I attached the acrylic to the back panel with some small screws. For hanging hardware, I added some D-rings and wire to the back, and because the battery pack protrudes out a little bit, I added some felt pads to the corners to keep the frame flat on the wall. I just used some small nails to hold the panel in the frame, and that way I can take it out if I ever need to. Finally, it was time to attach the shelf with glue and screws. And just when you thought we were done, I used the We Create Vision Pro to cut out an image that I thought went along with my LETBRICKS kit and attached it to the acrylic using some double-sided tape. All right, that does it for our little framed shelf project. And yes, I know, I ended up cutting the shelf too narrow so the model actually sticks out a little bit. Whatever, I'm not worried about it. The one thing that I'm not too happy with is that I can still see the individual LEDs. So I'm glad I made that panel removable so I can take it off and find another way to diffuse it a little bit more. Now, one feature I really like about this project is the little cutout detail in the back. I like that it's removable. That way, if I get a different model or decide to put something else on the shelf, I can change it out to match whatever's on the shelf. All in all, I think it came out really cool, so let me know in the comments below what you think. A big shout out to this video sponsor, LETBRICKS. If you want to check out all the models they have available and try your hand at a few of them, just hit the link below. A big shout out to all our Grove members. Your support really does make videos like this possible. And don't forget, it's the beginning of a new month, so keep your eye out for new plans. I hope you all enjoyed today's video. Thank you very much for watching. And as always, be safe and have a great day.